So, you guys kind of know me. I'm a pretty good driver when it comes to racing games or just driving in general. I mean, I rarely crash. I stay in my lane. I'm really good at not ramming into people. I'm pretty decent. So, make no mistake when I say this list is pretty fair, You can always take it with a grain of salt, though. My name's Camozombie 15, and today I'm going to be ranking every Super Roblox kart track so far. So, the only things I'm going to be looking at really are enjoyability, playability, longevity, and then design. So as long as it's fun and not too long, but also really beautiful to look at and really easy to play on, I'm sure it's going to be high on this list. So, with that out of the way, let's get into the list. All right, coming in the top 7. At number 7, we have Shredder, or Electric Shredder CTGP. So, what is it about Electric Shredder that makes it so boring or bland? Well, it's a simple track. It's like Baby Park, but a little bit more intense. You have to drive on one side, go all the way up, touch the invisible wall, and cut back down. Now, that isn't hard on paper, but it gets really chaotic really fast, and that's about it, really. 7 laps back and forth, you go back. It's an evenly timed track. It's not too long, but it's not too short, because 7 laps. The only thing that really bugs me is that it is kind of creative, but it looks nothing like the original. The original is pretty cool, and this remake is really cool too. It's just I would have liked to see a little bit more, volcano design instead of the electric fences. Other than that, this is a really boring course. It's just back and forth. There's no real gimmick. It's really only good for coin farming. Other than that, it's okay. Coming in at number 6, we have Crumble Canyon. Crumble Canyon is a weird track in my opinion. I believe it's based off another Mario game, but for the life of me, I can't tell what game it is. I think it's Super Mario Sunshine. Don't kill me in the comments if I got that wrong. But other than that, it's just a fair weather track. It has beautiful sceneries. It feels like a canyon. But other than that, it kind of plays like you're driving on a canyon. It's just so weird. But it's so nice to drive onto. It's an enjoyable track sometimes. Otherwise, I usually try to stay away from it. It has some nice concepts with the little electric fences. You gotta drive through them. Usually I get hit though, so I don't really like them. But it has a nice little mine section, or you can drive on the beach. The beach section is faster, by the way, if you didn't know. Other than that though, I like the little cannon boost at the start to get you to the top of the cannon. There's a little lone island, and there's not much else to say about this track. It's a pretty standard track. It's really fun. Just enough to get it ahead of Electric Shredder. Alright, so yeah, this track is deserving in the number 6 spot. Not too boring, but just entertaining enough for me to consider picking it. Unless these choices ahead of it are next. Alright, next up on this track is 6 Kings Labyrinth. A little bit of a shocker, I know, but this track is one of the mediocre tracks. Kind of in the middle, but not exactly. It's on the cusp of being a great track. It has so much potential. So you start off on this big ramp that you'll never see again. So you all go through the boost, and you start beelining it to the labyrinth. And once you're in there, it's just all hell breaks loose. There's so many ways to go, and there's so many ways that open up. It's usually a new experience every time, but it just lacks a little bit. There's a good ambiance inside, I'll give it that. You feel like you're stuck inside a labyrinth and you don't know which turn is the right one to take next, because you might think you have a certain way down that's always going to be open, but the next time you pick it, boom, you have to wait till next lap to go through it because it's closed by the gate. See, that's a cool little neat trick. They put numbers on the gate, and it's either 1, 2, or 3. If it's 1, the gate's open at the start of the race. If it's 2, once you hit lap 2, it opens, and etc. It's a pretty cool concept, but other than that, it's just kind of lackluster. The outside is something left to be desired. They could do a little bit more with the outside, maybe add some stuff outside to kind of give it a better ambiance. Like, oh, you should not go in there. And if they did that, it would be a little bit higher on the list, but nevertheless, there's a lot of stuff they could do, but I'm glad they did a lot of the stuff. It's a really fun track to play on. I especially love running into the little leaves and trying to hit people with the shells and the bombs. That just gives me a rush. Speaking of rush, alright, next up at the number 4 spot, we have Exophal's Lair. Oh boy, where do I begin with Exophal's Lair? This is such an interesting track, and they've turned it into something a little bit more unique. While it's not exactly the prettiest course to look at times, I think it more than gives off the vibe of, whoa, this is a racetrack. Like, this is an actual dirt bike track, and I'm a sucker for dirt bike tracks, if you haven't noticed. So what makes this so unique? You jump through hoops of fire, that's already a plus, extra obstacles, and you have to narrowly avoid these Venus fly chomps as they try to run over you and smush you. And even better, they added Dosuns into the game. A rock that hits the floor really hard. And it has a goofy face that I may or may not have helped. A little bit of bias. But, anyways, it gives out the vibe of, hey, this is a racetrack with the many fire tracks thingies, the little fire wheels, and a lot of thwomps and Dosuns to kind of throw you off your game. And the crowd cheering you on as they take photos of you getting pummeled by red shells and nuke frenzies is just something unparalleled to the rest of the game. And that just makes it so unique. And the big jump! Oh, don't get me started on that big jump where you do a flip in midair. That's the grand finale of the whole shebang. That's the best part of this track. You got the jumps, but can you tame the big jump? And it's so satisfying to watch your character jump over it and narrowly avoid the bottom. Especially when it's like, oh, am I even going to make it? Especially when they land the flip. Oh man, gets me every time. And then the little fireball section where you have to narrowly avoid the fireball or get hit by it. Just genius, pure genius. Whoever came up with that was smart. Now, the only gripe I have with this course is it is a little bit on the longer side. And there's not too many item boxes or many coins. There is one little pocket with like 20 coins in there. And then like 2 or 3 pockets with like 3 or 4 item boxes. But I like the water concept. The water concept's nice, except if you fall in it anywhere, it kind of brings you back to the start of it. Just a little gripe there. Anyways, with that out of the way, let's move on. Alright, topping the list at the start of the final 3, we have Sunshine Beach. Son of a beach, man. I bet you were thinking it was going to be the hotel level, didn't you? Well, I'm here to say you're wrong. Paradise Resort is not the one I picked here. It is actually Sunshine Beach. Why? Well, it just gives off a little bit of a better vibe. Well, worse, I should say. It's a nice track, don't get me wrong, and I feel like I'm on a little paradise island, a little beach. It's got nice ambiance, a nice, atmosphere. What's the word? Aesthetic. You got the tiny little crabs you got to avoid. You got a big jump at the beginning. And if you miss it, you have to drive through the ocean. And then there's a little hill, and you get a nice view. There are shy guys trying to bomb you throughout the whole track too. It's just a blast to play on. It's so immersive. It's so cool. It's so unique. That's why it's one of the SRK tracks, ain't it? Honestly, it's a nice track. 5 laps does do it justice. It is a bit short, but it's short enough where 5 laps doesn't seem to overdo it. I like watching my guy trick off the ramp. It's really nice to see, like the boom. And other than that, I really like the pirate ship and how everything just looks so unique and clean to it. Just has a nice atmosphere. My only gripe is there could be a little bit more, to be had with the beach. Maybe a few fish in the water. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe some more like aquatic life, because there's a big section where it's land and there's like a little curve. Maybe they could put a fish or something right there, like a mermaid or the Mr. Squid just kind of out of the water. That'd be kind of cool. And he's just staring at you. That could be an obstacle too, where he like kind of just spits water at whoever. That'd be a cool obstacle. I'd let that hit me a lot. You know I would. Alright, well, with Sunshine Beach out of the way, let's go back to the hotel. Just missing the number 1 spot at number 2 is Robloxia Hotel. Wait, did I get that wrong? I mean Paradise Resort, my bad. I get Robloxia Circuit and then mixed up. Anyways, Robloxia, not Robloxia, dang it. What is it called? Paradise Resort. Paradise Resort, I should say. So, what is it about this track that makes it so fun to play on? Well, it's just the atmosphere it gives. You're driving through a hotel. Imagine Coconut Mall, but through a hotel. That's what this track is. You have a nice little speed section. You go through the hotel, you check in, you go up to your room on the 1st or 2nd floor, and then when you realize you didn't pay for the hotel, you book it and you go and jump in the pool before they kick you out. Once you get out of there, you get chased through the gardens. But be careful, there's 2 ways to go. If you go the wrong way, you're getting in trouble. So, you gotta take the high ground or the low ground. That's your pick. Usually, the low ground is my pick, but the fast way is actually the top route. Believe it or not, which I found kind of weird. But once you do pick your path, you get to jump through the garden or just speed through it in style. Why is this track higher? Well, it has a better atmosphere than the previous tracks. It looks finished. It looks like they took their time and they added a lot. I know they did that for a lot of the tracks. I just feel like they poured a little extra love into some of the SRK tracks versus the other tracks, which I'm totally down for. I like the uniqueness of this track. Anyways, enough with the chit chat. This track just, it amazes me. I'm surprised people don't pick it more often. It's one of the better tracks this game has to offer. And with that out of the way, let's head down to number 1. I mean, you guys already know what it is. If you haven't been playing SRK recently, then you probably don't know what it is. But if you have, I'm sure we all know where this is going. And that is Robloxia Circuit. The first new track they added, and honestly, I'm in love with it. Imagine this is the staple. This is the first track that they really just nailed the first time they did it. The ambiance it gives, just the aesthetic, just everything about it makes me so happy. Okay, so imagine Mario Circuit. Now imagine it with Super Roblox Kart. And that's what this track is. It's an amazing atmosphere. It's like you're racing in a town that loves it. It just, So you start in front of a huge crowd, which is cheering you on and taking photos of you because you're one sexy thing. And then as soon as you start, you're greeted with a bunch of turns and a little tunnel. A little curved tunnel like in DS Air Fortress. Once you go through there, you have a bunch of little speed bumps and a little bump to jump off of. Once you get there, you climb the hill and it's back to your adoring fans. Honestly, simple, but it's amazing. It gives out such an atmosphere. And this is insane to say, but this is the best track in the game. Just everywhere I look, it's bouncing with life. There's so much to look at and so much to see. I bet some of you didn't even notice that there were hot air balloons in the sky. Or that some of the fans, had different colored shirts. Maybe you did, maybe you didn't. Can you find the noob? Maybe. Well, maybe not the first track, but maybe the second one. It gives us so many good vibes, this track. This sets the bar for SRK. This says, we're not fooling around anymore. We're making this game into something better. And for that, I applaud you, SRK. You succeeded in doing just that. So, honestly, I love this game. I love every track in this game. It's just some tracks have a lot more value than others, and honestly, I can see it. I like a lot of these tracks. They're all really cool. I don't really hate one that much. Honestly, they all have a purpose. They all have unique values. And bringing it together is just something unique that you don't see every day. So, maybe your track didn't get number 1, but that's okay. You can tell me what your favorite track is in the comments below. And I'll go through and probably comment on it, because I comment on a lot of your guys' comments if you haven't picked up, because I'm so small. But, hey, if you liked it, like it. If you didn't, tell me why you didn't like it. Or dislike it and not tell me. I really don't mind. And with that, I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.